Hey people, welcome back to another episode of After Credits. Liam and I just got out of the new Sofia Coppola movie, The Beguiled, and this was the most unintentionally funny movie of the year.
The Great Wall came out this year. This was not
No, man, I didn't sob at The Great Wall. I sobbed with laughter at this. This was awesome.
The Great Wall had like the whole magnet thing. That there was nothing. There was one scene in this movie that competed with that, but like overall, The Great Wall, I laughed a lot more. But this movie, there was some good laughs in there. There's one moment in particular. Just the whole movie, it's so silly. It's just the whole thing is so silly.
I'm fine with that. I don't know if y'all are.
Y'all, it's just me. I didn't hate
y'all like the other part of the internet.
I didn't hate this movie. It was an enjoyable 90 minutes. I laughed.
Somebody described this on Twitter as Sofia Coppola's death proof, and it makes so much sense.
I have a problem, and this happens with film Twitter a lot, is that because one person made one really great movie, then they're like the next coming. Like Sofia Coppola, Lost in Translation was really good. Lost in Translation is a great movie. But outside of that, I mean, Bling Ring was not very good.
You go from Lost in Translation to Bling Ring, and that's like the only thing you
Virgin
see.
Suicides is okay.
Virgin Suicides is great. People like Sofia Coppola movies. It's not like Shyamalan.
Sofia Coppola is a good director, but she's not, David Fincher. She's not Quentin Tarantino. I'm not bursting out of my chair to go see the next Sofia Coppola movie. Basically, this movie is about Colin Farrell plays this soldier who is wounded during the Civil War. He's a Union soldier, and he's taken in by this all-girls school. There's just 7 girls there. There's Nicole Kidman, Kirsten Dunst, Elle Fanning, Angourie Rice, little girl from Southpaw, and then 2 other people I don't know. God, did you see Southpaw?
I did, but you remember it more than I do.
Yeah, that's the girl that finds him, Amy, I think.
No shit?
Yeah, that's the girl from Southpaw.
Yeah.
So I like the idea that's all right, he's going in there and he's just it's just his presence is disturbing things. And I think it would have been even interesting just if he was just asleep the whole time. Just seeing them interact. And then the ending of this movie gets so stupid. It gets so stupid, really fast. And, the dialogue is weird. It goes between being cringy and being hilarious. And that's my ultimate description of this movie. This movie navigates between cringe and hilarious. It's an enjoyable time, but it's not a super, well-made movie.
I see it like a soap opera with a budget. I grew up watching telenovelas. My grandma would hijack the TV every summer and watch these over-the-top performances. And I have a respect for that kind of acting because it does require a lot of effort, and you have to go from one emotion to the other at the drop of a dime because you're filming so many scenes a day. David O. Russell gave this great anecdote about soap opera performers that they're able to just go into a cat fight without any what's my motivation, just go for it because they're that experienced and trained. And so you watch this movie and it has the beat of a melodrama, a beat of soap opera, but it's made by somebody who's a good director, so the atmosphere is great and the natural lighting is fantastic. You've got cinematography just out the wazoo. I love the pacing of the film. I love the costumes, the production design. It's just extraordinarily well made schlock.
I'm gonna definitely agree with you about the production design. I wasn't blown away by the cinematography. I thought it was fine. There was no shots that were I don't know. To me, really great cinematography is when something
when something stands out to you. Guess what? It's summer, so we gotta go handheld.
I mean, I like the cinematography. Well, no, I didn't like the cinematography. I thought it wasn't bad. It was just whatever. It was fine. It was serviceable, but it wasn't anything special. There was no shots that stood out to me. I actually thought that the pacing I think it could have been a little bit tighter. I feel like there's some extraneous stuff in here that would have helped the tension of the film. I think it would have been more fun.
I didn't mind the pacing. I felt like it kept with the rhythm of the movie. This film's a slow burn, so whenever you're going back to locations you've seen before, it's almost like a title card, for almost a sense. It's almost like returning from the commercial break. Here is the shot of this little girl using an eye
Yeah, I felt like I was gonna break into.
That's how let's go.
I was gonna break into ABC Families Harry Potter Weekend.
That would have been great if like a little banner had just slowly risen from the bottom.
It's what it felt like.
It just depends on what kind of stomach you have for this kind of melodramatic stuff or slow movies. Although I do think this can reach a wider audience than just the indie crowd if you sell it right.
I feel like the Tumblr crowd will probably like this. Like all these white girls like, fuck you, men.
It's like a fun twist on the male fantasy thing. You know, a dude is surrounded by a bunch of chicks. Oh, you know what's gonna happen. But in this one, you know, there's a twist on its head. But before we get into that twist, spoiler alert, just scroll to the time code that's on my nose there if you don't want to see spoilers, and go to our final thoughts and scores out of 6 stars. First off, can we agree here? The acting's fun.
I think Colin Farrell is very good.
Colin Farrell needs like a best supporting actor nod.
I would actually agree with that.
that.
Colin Farrell is a very underrated actor in my opinion. Like, check out In Bruges, check out Seven Psychopaths,
Lobster.
Check out The Lobster. Colin Farrell's a great actor. I'm glad that they went for somebody a little bit more unconventional. Like, if they're just like looking for like, you know, like a good looking dude, they could have got like Chris Pine, Chris Pratt. Like, I'm glad that they could have
gone for Brad Pitt, but no. Colin Farrell proves in this movie how sexy as fuck he can be. Like, it with the beard or with the clean-shaven face. He's got that weird, like, Irish lilt that's just like... An alternate title for this movie is Everybody's Wet as Fuck!
Yeah, pretty much. Nicole Kidman was good. Kirsten Dunst wasn't good, but she's never good in anything. Kirsten Dunst just isn't a good actor. Most of the young actresses are good. Like, I really like Angry Rice from Nice Guys.
What the fuck was that, dude?
What?
She's sitting there, like, yelling, like, he's the hateful enemy.
That was my favorite part, is because it's like there's this scene where they're sitting down at the dinner table, and they're talking about, like, what do you think we can learn? And she's like, he's a fucking asshole. I want to murder him. I was like, Jesus. She was probably my favorite, like, character. Her character made me laugh the most.
I like Elle Fanning just because Elle Fanning's having a fun.
Elle Fanning is just a bitch. I didn't like her in this movie. I get that you're supposed to not like her.
She was good in that, because like the last role we saw her in was what, Neon Demon, where she's playing the innocent.
We saw her in Live by Night.
We did?
Yeah, remember? She was in Live by Night.
That movie has receded from my memory so goddamn fast, but I now remember what you're talking about, her being that preacher type. So she can play kind of like high and mighty and bitchy well, but in something like Neon Demon, she's playing the innocent, and I like Elle Fanning just having blast with this character who's pretty much a whore.
She's definitely...
She's just a slut, that's pretty much it.
She's a total cunt in this movie, and I hated her character. I get you're supposed to hate her character, but I'm just saying I hated her character.
Good job! Colin Farrell does a fantastic job. Basically, without Colin Farrell, this movie falls apart. The first half of the movie is pretty much each of the girls interacting with the guy. And with each interaction, you can see the ways that Colin Farrell is trying to get on each of their good sides by appealing to what they're interested in most. With Kirsten Dunst, he's trying to start a romance. With Nicole Kidman, he's trying to kind of appeal to her, her kind nature. You've got the little girl that he meets in the beginning of the movie, that they bond over nature and birds and whatnot. And you're not entirely sure whether he's a sweet guy or whether he has his own ulterior motives. And I like that Coppola picked the shots where it was most ambiguous. It actually kept me on a loop. I wasn't entirely sure if he was there for
See, that's the weird thing about this movie. It's like there's sort of like some well-made, like, ambiguous stuff like that. Like, I agree with you, like they did a good job with, like, his character. You're not exactly sure of his motivations. And then it just gets so dumb. Trying to fucking murder him with some mushrooms. What?
It makes sense.
After he throws a turtle?
We'll talk about the turtle, but again, all of this makes sense in the logic of the movie. They deliberate over this scene where Colin Farrell has seduced Kirsten Dunst, and he tells her to wait for him in her room. But it turns out that Kirsten Dunst finds Colin Farrell trying to fuck Elle Fanning, and then, you know, it gets into a riot. She pushes him down the stairs and re-busts open his fucking his stitches from before, which just is gruesome. I actually like the gore effect they had there.
That's pretty brutal.
And then Nicole Kidman realizes that his leg is basically about to atrophy from all the blood that he's losing, so she has to cut his leg off. And once they cut his leg off, there's a metaphor for manhood there. No, it's definitely supposed to be a castration of sorts. I would have just like they gone with the full 9.
Just cut off his dick.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, is it just me, or when you saw this movie trailer, if you've ever seen it, and then you hear Colin Farrell yelling, "You vengeful bitches!" Like, am I just the sick fuck that's like, yeah, cut his dick off, fuck it?
If Quentin Tarantino directed this movie, it would have been so much more fun, because it would have just been stupid from the start.
But it was stupid from the start.
I don't know, there was like I don't know, this movie's weird.
You gotta ride the wave between, you know, so stupid that you can't, if it goes too stupid, then you can't believe it.
About the turtle.
In a minute. It rides the wave between so stupid you can't believe it versus taking itself so seriously that it's not fun, and I thought this rode that balance well.
I was really worried about it, it's like, because I've just been reading all these fucking reviews of this, like people like David Ehrlich who's just jerking this movie off, and like I was really worried that going into this movie it was going to be like really like self-important. This movie at least knows that it's like a stupid schlocky movie.
Alright, so we gotta talk about the favorite part of this movie.
Colin Farrell is like yelling at them for after they cut off his leg,
and obviously he didn't want his leg cut off.
Right.
And that symbolizes him being castrated. He yells something like, "I would rather have died than hobble around on one leg," when that's the antithesis of a previous line where he says, you know, being in prison versus being dead, you know, being in prison's better. At least he kept his manhood. He's somehow more of a man when he's able to work or not be a crippled or something like that.
For what is a man? What has he got?
What is a man but a miserable pile of secrets? This turtle that the girl that found him has been holding on to this entire time, she tries to appeal to him because, you know, they're best friends and whatnot, and he just fucking like grabs her turtle and chucks it on the floor. It's like Dave Chappelle. It was awesome.
Fuck your couch, nigga.
I have never seen Daniel laugh so hard in the theater. Like, he laughed.
Oh no, I've laughed harder to the point where I was sobbing, but like I got some tears. Oh dear God, it's just it's so you can only get this out of a great actor like Colin Farrell, because as soon as he grabs that turtle with contempt. Says, ugh! He's disgusted by this fucking turtle. I feel like we should have watched this with the kind of audience that watches Tyler Perry movies.
Yeah.
Because they would have had a lot of fun, just been like, ooh!
That was the one thing, is like the audience that was going to see this movie was not prepared for this movie. This is an audience.
They really weren't, except for those couple Mexican ladies in front of us. I think they were having a good time. Whenever something scandalous would happen, like Colin Farrell would give Kirsten Dunst the eye, and then Kirsten Dunst would act. I love that scene. As soon as he starts professing some sort of interest in her, she leaves the room, and then she stands by the wall, just goes, ah. It's almost like she melts in her drawers. It's fucking hilarious.
I wish we'd seen this with the audience that we saw Morgan with.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, that one guy just going, damn!
Yeah.
That bitch wet as fuck!
So if you scroll to the time code, welcome back to our non-spoiler thoughts. It scores out of 6 stars for The Beguiled. We are going.
Guess what? It's hot. The camera went handheld.
We're going handheld. In summation, this movie's really dumb. It's funny at some points. There are some good performances. It's mostly competently made with some good production design. It rides the line between like a genuine good thriller and just complete schlock, and a lot of it is really like stupid. That being said, I did enjoy myself watching it, and you know, I don't know if I want to say this is a guilty pleasure, but I'll go 3.5. I can recommend it.
I never believed that this was a good thriller. I always believed that this was a fucking schlocky.
There's some good concepts, I think.
And as far as dumb, a dumb movie to me is whenever it's obvious that you could go in one direction, but they decide to go in a weird one. For me, the logic of the movie is fine. The screenplay is written to the point where if you've gotten to point X, point Y just has to come next. That's kind of what works about it. And the performances, I think, are extraordinarily well. Cinematography, I do not believe has to stand out or necessarily be stylish or over the top or really accentuated. You can have a good cinematographer that just kind of lives in atmosphere and subtlety, and I like that in this movie. Get loaded with your friends who love like screechy melodramas and have a fucking good ass time. I'm gonna go to solid 4. I had a good time.
All right, so HK total of 3.75. It's a recommendation. I don't think you have to see this in theaters. You can wait for.
I am not sure because I was getting a lot more laughs out of the idea that we were in the theater and we're not allowed to laugh along with like the artsy crowd, so it makes your laughter even stronger because you're trying to hold it back. And I feel like this is a movie where the characters are trying to hold their emotions back too, so it kind of fits.
So if you like this video, please click the like button down below. Also make sure to subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified whenever we have a new video. We got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our buddy Noah is the Cinema Geek on Instagram. You can check his reviews out there. We're gonna definitely check out Dunkirk.
Yeah.
And we might, if we hate ourselves, you could check out Valerian.
I've heard Valerian's getting okay.
Here's the thing, I was reading reviews last night and everything was either this movie's awesome or this is the worst movie of the year. It's complete.
That sounds like something we'd be up for. Viewer's choice, we've got Goodfellas, the first real like good movie in a long time that we've been recommended on this show.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Boondock Saints and The Room are good, but
the Room is amazing.
Yeah.
But like as a legit Oscar contender, one of the greatest movies of the 90s.
Won. Fuck you, Dances with Wolves.
Fuck Kevin Costner.
Oh.
If you want to leave a suggestion for viewer's choice, any movie at all, go ahead and leave that in the comments below and we'll add that to the list. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care and good night.
Dominance!